Welcome back. This is David from Welcome Back Comics. Here to tell you a little bit about a recent pickup we did. Just a fair warning. This is our first video. I'm very low tech. You just heard some introduction music off my iPhone, and there's going to be no edits or anything like that. So this is a straight one take, warts and all. Hopefully we'll get better over time. Second, this is not going to be one of those haul videos where we show you this amazing book we picked up for 50 cents. It's worth $3,000. That's not what this was. Really what we're here to talk to you about today is what happens when you go to buy, number one, a little bit late, and number two, when somebody wants to let their collection go but really isn't interested in breaking it up in the way that they need to in order to get rid of it. So what we're going to find today is really just a bunch of solid kind of 50 cent, $1 pickups that helped us build sets, a couple books that we picked up for a buck that maybe we'll be able to sell for $5 or $10. That's about it. And really it's just the story. So essentially, we responded to a Craigslist ad. Guy posted a bunch of pictures, said he was looking to get rid of books. Modern Commons were 50 cents a piece. Bronze Age books would be $2, and price stuff would be 60% or so of eBay price. So nothing super exciting, but some potential if we found a good book and could get a good deal on it, and definitely some stuff that we thought could fill sets. Unfortunately, timing of it was such that couldn't get there for a few days. Thought I could get there early in the week, wasn't able to go the weekend it was posted. So clearly when I got there, people had been through it already. In fact, there was somebody there the day I was there looking through the books. He and I had very different interests, so we didn't really conflict, and I didn't get the sense that he took anything from me that we were hoping to pick up. But at the end of the day, found some things, but you could tell that people had been there. You know, you'd see a small run of books, and the key book in the middle would be gone. So, you know, there was no chance of finding a New Mutants 98, any major first appearances, anything like that in this collection. No Spider-Man 300, nothing like that. Even little keys or more modern keys, like the first appearance of the Winter Soldier in Captain America 6, wasn't there. So again, going to highlight a few of the things we did find, but it'll be a short video because there's nothing super exciting to talk about. First and foremost, found a few complete sets that we'll go ahead and sell. And again, if you're not familiar with Welcome Back Comics, you can find us on Facebook, Welcome Back Comics. We set up at a lot of different shows along the East Coast, and you know we're available. We do a lot of sets, a lot of dollar stock, a lot of good wall books. This will be an opportunity for you to see some of the stuff we pick up, and for us to give you some of the stories about how we find it. So just to get a sense of what we do, you know, again, the 1602 set complete, all the issues there. Picked them up for 50 cents a pop, not bad. Gambit miniseries from the 90s, Secret Invasion, complete set. Paradise X, which, for my money, the Earth X series at least, in the Earth X trilogy, was a phenomenal book. A really good sort of reinvention of the history and the origin of the Marvel Universe that really, for me, was sort of mind-blowing. Had a great opportunity to talk to Jim Krueger at a show once. You know, and if folks are familiar, Jim Krueger wrote and Alex Ross did the art for the Earth X, Universe X, and Paradise X series. They also were responsible for the Justice series for DC. And while the Justice series is a great miniseries focusing on the Justice League and beautiful Alex Ross art and a great story by Jim Krueger, when we asked him, you know, which of those was his favorite, because I was with a buddy who's more of a DC guy and I'm more of a Marvel guy, Jim Krueger said, you know, hands down, Earth X was his favorite, because it really got a chance to kind of dig in and make an impact on the way we think about comics in the Marvel Universe, whereas Justice was a great Justice League story, but a lot of those have been told as well. So Paradise X series, I always try and pick up those Earth X, Universe X, Paradise X, both because they're a great storyline that we can recommend to people, and a popular one that sells at shows. Justice also something we have. So again, if you're ever looking for stuff like that, you can contact Welcome Back Comics. We're happy to ship stuff out to you if you can't make it to a show and we have something that you'd like. Generally speaking, our prices are pretty reasonable. So those are the complete sets that I bought. And again, for 50 cents a pop, they make a decent, you know, we can make a little bit of money off them, nothing crazy, but fill some needs that we know that collectors are looking for. The handful of books that I got that are maybe a little bit more than, you know, a sort of traditional dollar book, nothing crazy again. Spawn number 50. Spawn's been picking up a lot of heat, obviously, with the movie coming out. The milestone issues are great, so 50, you know, again, maybe we'll sell that for $5, something like that. So picking it up for 50 cents or a dollar, worth doing. Obviously, later issues of Spawn start to go much higher up in price, and you know, even Spawn number 1, as common as it was and is to find, you know, is still fetching now $20 to $25. But finding Spawn 50 for 50 cents, not a bad deal. I really am a big fan of the Elseworlds books, so Superman Speeding Bullets. I just really find these enjoyable, great to read. Obviously, Marvel has a long, long history with the What If books. The Elseworlds books are a little bit harder to find, or rather, were a little bit farther and fewer between. They weren't as regular. They're nice prestige format books. This is a great kind of $10 to $15 book. I always like to pick up the last issue of any series, Thunderstrike: The End. Nobody cares about Thunderstrike. He's at best a footnote in Marvel history. But the print runs started to get lower, so sometimes people will be happy to find the last issue. A What If Secret Invasion. This is a great example for me of the stuff that this guy had that he just didn't want to get rid of. He had a big run of What Ifs, and What Ifs are a fan favorite. We usually try and pick them up if we can find them for 25 to 50 cents, because we'll sell them usually at about $2 a pop. He had a stack of maybe about this many, mostly from the 90s, kind of nothing What Ifs, no major exciting storylines or anything like that, even venturing into that point where What If didn't even have a what if this happened. It just sort of was like this one, What If Secret Invasion, although this is from the 2000s. So a stack of them, which I'm looking at going, if this guy's talking about selling modern commons for 50 cents, this is what we're talking about. Turns out in his mind there's a What If series coming out. What If books have gone through the roof. So he was not interested in selling those unless he could look them up and price them. I wasn't interested in paying more than 50 cents a pop for them. Just it's not worth it on our end, and we have a sense of what they sell for. It shows. This one I think slipped through the cracks. I think you just saw the Secret Invasion along with the Secret Invasion set. This one maybe we'll sell for a couple bucks. Maybe we'll throw it in our $5 section, but usually our $5 section has a buy one get one free or buy four get one free. So sometimes we'll throw some stuff in there that we know is more of a $2 or $3 book. This is probably another example of that. Wonder Woman, just the first John Byrne kind of on the run. Cool cover. Wonder Woman's always a fan favorite. The one thing we did find that was kind of cool, and we've got for a couple bucks a piece, is some of the older graphic novels. Now, again, there's not any big money in these things, but they're really kind of neat. Just these first run trade paperbacks. This one is the Alien Saga of the Alien costume. So you've got Amazing Spider-Man 252. You've got a bunch of other Amazing Spider-Man books. You can sort of see on the back some of the stuff that this book contains. Again, we'll probably sell this for maybe 15 or 20 bucks, but it was very cool to find it at all at a for just a couple bucks. Similarly, again, no huge demand for these, and these may be $5 or $10 a piece. But Daredevil Gang War miniseries, stuff around his fighting with Bullseye, and then the original Wolverine miniseries. And again, while the original Wolverine miniseries itself will sell for 100, 150 bucks, the trade paperback, which had a $10 cover price back in the day, we might only sell for $10 now, if that. So again, nothing super exciting, but was fun to pick up some of those trades. And is also one of those weird areas where, for whatever sets of reasons, he was willing to let these go for a couple bucks, but when he saw the What If books, not really interested in letting those go. Similar experience with a bunch of Transformers from the early Marvel stuff. Not number 1 or 2, none of the kind of higher value books. These were ones in the sort of teens into the 30s, stack about this big. And again, he was looking up individual Transformer books, and I said, let's stop right now, because if they're not in that 50 cents range, I'm just not really interested in them. So a little frustrating when somebody has a different understanding of what sort of common modern books are, but managed to get not only this stuff, but essentially the rest of a short box. Most of the time 50 cents a piece. I think I paid about 60 bucks total for the short box. Nothing exciting or of note in the rest of the short box. Take a look at my display case while I'm off screen. Again, mostly stuff that just completes sets for us. So again, a big piece of our sort of buying at any given show is just finding in the 50 cent or dollar stuff that'll finish off a set for us. So stuff like the Amalgam set, which is a great read. It's always nice to be able to pick up some of the Amalgam books, for 50 cents a pop. Iron Lantern seems to be one that's elusive for us, so I was glad to see a couple of them. Finishing off a Dark Victory set, getting some that get us closer to finishing DK3. This one I was excited about. He had the final issue of Doom 2099, which we've had just sort of sitting in my basement for forever, waiting to complete. And as I mentioned earlier, Earth X, we needed 2 issues to complete a run. So a bunch of stuff like that. I'm not going to go through all this box because it's not that interesting to look at, but gives you a sense of the kind of stuff that we picked up. So again, that's our first haul video. Nothing super exciting. I hope that in future episodes we'll at least be able to show you a book that we picked for 10 or 20 bucks, that'll fetch 10 or 20 bucks. that we found sitting in somebody's dollar books, because that's really where we live, is the dollar section. Um, until next time, this is David from Welcome Back Comics. Thanks for watching.